Let me pose this question to Prof. Prof, we had the Lamada case, of course. We know the same allegations were put forward, and also the name of the PS. Just a moment, Alice. And also the name of the PS was also dropped as well. Do you think the PS himself will remain none the wiser to actually, do the same, sort of a setup that he had in Lamada and discuss the same things, that we want to cut some people down to size?
What was the Lamada case again?
The Lamada case was all about, we want to eliminate, the deputy president and, So you remember the Lamada case, the Lamada Hotel.
Let me put in a bigger picture. This is really my whole concern about political systems that work in Africa. So long as you have a political system where presidential elections about the winner takes it all, then this kind of thing happens. People begin preparing very early. To make sure when the contest comes, either you are the enemy or your rival is completely demobilized or threatened or unable to take part effectively in the election. I'm not saying this happened in this particular case, but it's a symptom of this, that really if we had a system where when you go to elections, people compete fairly, and after the results are out, you sit down and say, who has got what? And then the government includes everybody. You won't have this. So let us look for bigger solutions to this problem, not deal with the symptoms. Let us look at the cause. As a social scientist, I'm only looking what are the cause of major problems in society, and go for that. If we keep on, this kind of, like Ali said, this kind of looking for troublesome people and putting fires off here and there, doesn't work. If it happened in this case, it will not work. If indeed, So what I'm saying, I'm not saying whether this person did one, but it is a symptom on the basic malaise in our society that we have had what we call a democratic system, which doesn't work in our context. It doesn't. It does not. And unfortunately for us, a country which has been under totalitarian rule like the DRC has learned the lesson and is going a positive way than we are. And I think we should take that lesson and say, look, let us design an electoral system where we go participate and fairly, you say, Nyikal has got so much, my friend Maura has got so much, Prof has got so much, Alice has got so much. Okay, you have so much in your basket. What proportion are you going to get in government? We'll give you 2%, we'll give you 8%, according to your strength on the ground. Then this government becomes a government of everybody. Look, the other day I was watching at YouTube, clip. Tony Blair talking to the Britons. Tony Blair told the Britons, you're a tiny little island. The only place you can feel big in the world is in the European Union. Yeah, let's accept it. In the European Union. If you leave the European Union and then you go to a meeting in Brussels with the US, with India, with China, and with Mexico and Brazil, in 20 years' time, nobody will listen to you. These will be countries with huge population, industrialized and so on. Even in Africa, in the next 40 years, Nigeria is going to have the biggest population per capita in the world. You see what I mean? So in Kenya, for example, if you say Aluo, Aluya, Atugen, or whatnot, you're so tiny in the face of East Africa. You are better off being in an East African Federation, where all these numbers now become bigger than fighting in some place called Muranga or Nyoro. What does it matter to Kenya? Really? What Kenyans should realize that if you present yourself in the table first in East Africa as Kenya, you have a voice. Then you gather together as East Africans in a stronger community with the DRC in there, and then you go to an AU meeting, you'll be heard. That's why when you go to AU meeting, Nigeria is heard, South Africa is heard. People like Kenya, they come at a poor third, a poor fourth in voice. When you go to the UN, you are even smaller. Then in the UN, you band together under Africa, with the African Union, but you cannot even have a seat in the Security Council. You are just going there on a yearly basis. But the others, the big ones, are there permanently. Now, when we have all this, then unity becomes vital.
Right. So is our politics really turning murkier right now? Like we're sinking, to the lowest ebb of, I should say, political tones in the country as it is with this particular clip that we're seeing, right? Tanga and Kieleweke and fomenting tension as it is in the country.
I think our politics is actually retrogressive. When I look at us leaders now, and I look at what happened before independence, about the time of independence, I can still remember a few things clearly. You don't see us now fighting on principles, on the governance that we need, on what we need for our people. We have reduced it to who will be the leader, and then even through parties and other organizations, we actually revolved around tribes. Now, if the fight for independence for Kenya was based on tribes,
yes,
do you think Kenya would have become independent? No way, it wouldn't have. So there was a bigger Kenya that people were fighting for. Now that Kenya is free, what really we leaders should be looking at, our differences should be on policies. What kind of governance do we need? What kind of economic structures do we need? Are we going to have a social structures that support the people are vulnerable? Are we going to look at education system that is actually supportive of everybody, not probably just wealthy people who are taking advantage of the political system? Are we going to have a health system? I mean, if people differed on that, I would actually be more optimistic than I am now. But what you are seeing, I don't know whether because we cannot think deeply about issues, so that we make it easy, that we form a group, go around the group, and now it is him or her, and that is what represents us. There is no idea or ideology behind that. And so that's what you are seeing about 2022, you don't feel that it is about Kenya, how it will be run. It is about who. And then it looks like we have believed that this thing of ours and theirs, if you ask people who is us, who is them, you just find groups of people who actually are looking at either being in positions of power or being in positions when they're businessmen, when they can acquire everything. The country is not in the picture. And that is why you see this kind of thing, why people feel very, very strongly. Let me just say, for me, this is one of the reasons I think BBI has a point, because when you look at the point they are saying, you see for everybody in it. But so long as we want to go into groups and form groups and go around the groups without thinking, when this group gets into power, what shall we do? You know, you can be stranded with power. You can actually get power and not know what to do for the country. Probably you can do something for yourself and other people. This is the problem. But finally, I think when there's so much suspicion, as Ali said, and people are meeting in groups, if we really have information, we should declare that information quickly, openly, to the police, so that the matter is discussed without just thinking any group that sits is now thinking or planning some assassination or something. Quick declaration with facts will actually clear this kind of suspicions.
Right. All right, when we circle back, of course, we shall hear also from the man who actually came up with this classification of Kieleweke and Tangatanga on this forum on AM Live, right? So is he the person actually who's pushed these people, you know, from the far corners as well, as far Kieleweke and Tangatanga is concerned, that has gained also traction in the public lexicon? This is Kieleweke, Tangatanga now forums that we do have that is polarizing the country, so to speak, right? Don't go away, much more coming up on the other side of the break.